In this video, I will be sharing 4 success secrets from the story of a widow from the book of 2 Kings chapter 4 verse 1 to 7. Now we are going to be looking at 4 success secrets. There's something that happened here which now reflects and also pertains to our own life when it comes to success. I'm going to be sharing these lessons, and these are lessons that also include things that God expects us to do for us to be successful when it comes to our own personal lives. You might be familiar with this particular story, but there are a lot of deep things that many people doesn't still yet understand in this story. So I'm going to be sharing them in this short video. Now come with me. Now let's check the scriptures quickly. Now you will see now that this widow was someone that her 2 children were to be taken as slaves because her husband has died. Now Elisha came and she was crying bitterly to him, telling him, my husband was a God-fearing man and now he's dead, and then the person he owed is coming to take my children away as slaves. First lessons here, you will see now that what did this woman use when he was pleading to Elisha? First he said, my husband was a God-fearing man, he has been faithful to God. Now you need to have an advantage. This woman had an advantage, which was her husband was a God-fearing man. That was the first plea, a point of advantage she had for she to reach out to Elisha to plead on behalf of her children's life. Now as a person, first thing you need to have in life, which is a very crucial thing, is to have the place of God in your life, to have the backing and the advantage of God in your life. This woman had that advantage through her husband, and she used it to reach out to Elisha. So therefore, if you have God in part of your equation, you have a great advantage of succeeding more than everyone else out there. You just know how to connect to God, involve him in all the process, and see everything flourishing. Now let's continue from what now happened with this widow and Elisha. I'm going to the second point now. Now after the woman has made her plea, Elisha asks her, what can I do for you? What do you have in your house? Now look at the lessons here. God might now even be asking you, after you have complained, after you have wailed and asked of different things, he's now asking you, what do you have? What do you want me to do for you? This is like a blank check the Elisha gave to this woman. The woman said, man of God, I don't have anything in my house but just an oil. At least this woman had something. She had an oil which she could use as a point of advantage, and this was also what Elisha was looking for. Elisha started giving her instructions. Now this is where many people fail in life. You are complaining to God, you are wailing, you need this, you need that. Now God is asking you, what do you have? What can I use as a channel? You need a point of channel in life. You want to succeed, you need to create a good channel for God to be able to come as a point of contact to bless you through your journey. As you are walking, you should have a good point of contact for God to use to uplift you, to bring men, to lift you to your glory. This is the second lesson in this story of this widow. She had an advantage here which Elisha used, and this is something that you yourself, you need to ask yourself today, what do I have? What can God use to bless me today? Think about it. Now let's move further. Now Elisha asked her to go and bring vessels. You should go and get more vessels. She didn't even have much of the vessels she needed. She have to go and start borrowing from neighbors, and she came, and Elisha gave her instruction to lock herself in the room and then start pouring that little oil she have into those vessels. This was the point of the miracle. Now she had an oil, she now had vessels. She started pouring till this vessel filled up, all of them. She asked her son, is there any more? The child says it has finished, all the vessels are filled up. Then the oil stopped. Now let's see this oil now as a point of blessing. Let's see this miracle now as God pouring into your life. You see, now third point I want to make emphasis on now is the limitation aspect. Now you can see now that this woman went and borrowed vessels, that when the vessels were occupied, the blessing stopped, the favor stopped flowing. This is one thing that also happens in our lives when we are limited. You shouldn't limit yourself. Like imagine if she had more and more of those vessels, the oil will continue flowing till when they get filled up. This is one thing. your life, you might be having a short-sighted vision, you might be limited, you might be afraid that if I think of doing something big or greater, God will not make it work, or I'm not capable of doing something great, just let me just have little and I'm okay. Or I'm out of fear and out of lack of confidence in God, out of lack of boldness and courage and even the promises of God, you think God is not limited with your own unbelief or your lack of faith. If you are connected to Him truly, there's no height God cannot take you to. This is one of the lessons in this story again. If the vessels were still there, that oil will continue to flow till. So this is your call, this is your opportunity for you to look bigger, to think greater things, because God can do it as far as you can think it and you remain committed to Him and faithful to Him. There's nothing He cannot do. That oil was flowing not because of that woman, but because of the power of God through Elisha. So this is what you should make yourself a vessel. You should make yourself an oil where God can keep pouring in as far as you are committed and willing to do. Now let's go to the last fourth point. Now you see that now after the whole oil was filled up, this woman went out and now met the man of God and told him that it has finished, everything is filled up. And then Elisha told her, okay, he started giving her more of instruction on what to do, how to sell it and go and settle her debt, and the remaining one, how she can use it to live on with her children. Now the fourth point here, the lesson here now in this fourth point is, after you get blessed, after you are uplifted, after you have enjoyed this blessing, just like this woman enjoyed the hand of God in your life, you don't have to now run away or stop or get disconnected from God. You can see now that this woman went back to the man of God. Imagine it as the whole thing fell up, she now went her way and started finding a way to use it and enjoy her life. This woman didn't run away. She went back to the source, which was Elijah, for further instructions. This is how you are supposed to also live. God blesses you, you run away. No. Go back to Him, remain connected to Him. You receive further instructions on how to be able to even utilize our blessings and upliftment, even if it is connection you have gotten. God will continue to guide you and then multiply it in your hand. And then even the aspect of thanksgiving, you need to go back to the source and remain thankful to that source. You don't have to run away or feel that since you have gotten what you want, then you disconnect. No, that is an error. So these are some of the lessons you're supposed to implement in your own life. These are lessons that you are supposed to work with, take and run with it through your own personal life. The woman's blessings can also happen even greater in your own life if you know how to maximize this point. First point, in summary, be connected to God. Have God as an advantage. Secondly, have a channel of blessing, a source whereby God can use as a means to bless you, to come into your life and His wondrous work to manifest and take you to your glory. Thirdly, don't limit yourself with your own thinking you cannot do this, you are limited, you don't have capacity. Think wide, think large. God can do it as far as you remain committed to God. And lastly, thankful and remain connected to God even after the blessings have flowed in your life. I hope you got value. Feel free to share this so that someone else too can benefit from this particular value. I remain Caleb Umaru. Thank you for watching.